total. Playing on the south side, they are a little bit out on the cold for this next one as well. Box rolling up to skills as the last player from Mad Bulls.
That final player will be removed as he moves to the building. MVM steps up but takes a huge amount of damage. The crashes just aren't coming in fast enough here, John.
If they continually go for 1v1s, maybe they'll win one eventually. Federal does go down as Suki has a little bit of high ground. Law on the outskirts, influence Kemen. 4 players alive with Federal knocked. Nade over the back, and that's good and long. Law right in the middle of it. And Suki's doing a little bit of damage over here. Might be able to get a flush as well. Law can't quite crawl behind the vehicle. Does manage to get away, but is bleeding out very, very fast. Lil Boy wants to move in, find the final player of LGD. Suki taken very, very low as Kayovsky has the high ground position. Law crawling out. There's a nade. It's good, but in the meantime,
Court road ahead of them regardless, so STG should be able to restabilize on that.
Oh, a quick roll up for MTech Storm with the DBS in close range. Get them into the firepower range of it. It's going to be brutal, but unfortunately it's dispatched on the entrance, and MTech Storm crumble in the face of Buraram's hold on the south side. I think there were some third parties coming on in. Not going for anything super flashy just yet. The Infinity on the south side, waiting for this next circle to pop, as I think we all are.
I mean, that's very central. BTR still capable from this position to take a win home for themselves, and they've been putting up some good points throughout the majority of the day to delayed so long by that LD push. Weren't able to find the rotation they would have liked, maybe down towards that south side, even trying to fight out against Buraram, which they may have won. Instead, they find themselves directly in the face of DRS, who made the right play, getting everyone over on that eastern side to clear out much of space possible on that side of the map so they could play out from there. So DRS make
that, which is their highest placement of the day already for the Galaxy.
Which is happy days, right? I mean, 4 players there. That high ground position that BTR have, they have to really now capitalize on top of it. With elimination at this point in the game, not amazing, but as long as they can keep getting knocks over to players as they move further, closer towards them, that's going to afford them that space, that comfortability that they need going into the late game.
Spray down over towards the Galaxy, losing Hamodi earlier. Ralph as well. Laid apart there. Blown up out in the open. Enigma Galaxy's run drawing short. They made it all the way up to the heady heights of 9th so far, Blank, but it looks like they might be stopped in their tracks. They are still taking a fight with S2G, as actually I think on XI8 will be rolling up onto the compound as well, so potentially a little bit of respite to get themselves back up to 2. It's the full force they'll be able to exert here. Bigatron, with all 4 of them running through, dealing with the crash on one side, but they've got so many other teams moving in.
I mean, this is completely off the back of Jen Foster as well. He's provided all this information, which is why you do see Luxie as well as Misery rotate so quickly back over towards this building. I mean, Jen Foster, again, regardless of what happens there, Buraram still up with a good result. S2G only 2 players, still also exerting a lot of pressure alongside the lobby with that wall to play around with. Zuxi's trying to finish off Kenzo here, but can't quite hit these shots. One more will do the trick.
There it is, finally able to tap through the frame. Kenzo trying to crawl back up to cover, but it won't go his way. Only the 1 player now remains for Buraram up the top of the hill. 4 rivals taking heavy punishment from S2G, right up towards DRS as well. Look at a post good numbers here for DRS. 4 players alive, playing with some decent high ground and oversight. Happy is low, will be sprayed down there. Killer stands up and takes everything that they needed. There's 4 rules is there, should be resable. These 4 rivals are backed off as something. Might be able to steal away the points for Bigatron.
Gets at least one of them. I mean, for DRS, the circle is just off the edge for them, so they'll have to get onto the cliff face, but it's still a good position to play. Jen Foster makes a desperate dash for it, but Killer finds Calci, leaving HamTG all on his lonesome with that MK14 in hand. This should be a good 4v4 between 2 teams that have held high ground for a very long time during this match.
The issue for Bigatron is they're going to have to give up this rooftop position, which has afforded them so much power. They will have to fall off. Shot from Rules. He's spotted exactly where they are. Playing the lead, and look how much of the circle DRS are actually able to play with here. If they can take down Bigatron, that's it. That's no one else who can really step up to them. It is a battle between these 2 teams, with Jed Foster falling. They don't have that forward launch point.
I think for BTR, their saving grace is that if they can get Jem Foster back up onto his feet and they can last till the next zone, which should be popping shortly, DRS have to come down this mountain, right? Long as possible, but for BTR, Circle is crushing them in just as much. Rules is managed to get down, which is a really big piece of information gathering potential for them. The rest of the players also starting to make their jumps. Meantime, Luxy moves up. This is a critical position to take, but already Jem Foster down. That's terrible news. Luckily, Misery gets one back.
Traded off over towards Delta. They're looking for a little bit more as well as Gianti is low. Hamzi's still in the mix of this, by the way. If both of these teams keep going at it and ignore Hamzi's position, there's potential that he could really strike out, especially if they're dwindling each other's numbers. At the moment, DRS's elimination did stick, but Bigatron managed to get the res. So another spray goes over onto Gianti. Can they have an impact back over towards Bigatron? Misery lined up just a little bit, but Killer cannot get the shot just there. Jet Foster stays alive as well, trying to trade it away. Hamzi steps up into the fight as he wants to try and third-party this and prove to be a problem. Bigatron slowed down just a little bit. Hamzi has an impact, finds one, a flush, and a knock over towards Jet Foster, and things are even yet again. Hamzi really being important here.
BTR with 2, 1 knocked, finally eliminated. And now Rules has to go for the big game, the big play. Zuxi and Luxy, the twins, step up.
Luxy finds it finally just over the top of the ridgeline. They were able to claim it back. It went a little bit pear-shaped there, but they were able to make the salad in the end. Compare